we can't obviously keep having this conversation without talking about the pandemic, because
Yeah.
it just is what it is. This is our lives. And this is why we are Zoom friends.
Yes. Yeah.
But obviously, there have been people who have been forced to change their careers,
Yeah.
and change the way, I guess, really change their life plans. I mean,
Mm.
everyone has had to in some form, I think. How do you do that? And that's a big question, but I mean, like,
Mm.
what kind of advice could you give to a person that say, that has to do that maybe this
Yeah.
is a time? Because I feel like some people are, obviously most people, even myself, might be kind of not scared. I hate that word, but it's true. It's kind of fearful
Yeah.
to be in this
Yeah.
position.
Yeah. It's really
Um,
scary.
it's really scary. What kind of advice if someone asked you,
So I mean, yeah, I at the beginning of the pandemic, I closed the business, or we sold the business on,
Yeah.
and I stepped back. So it was a huge change for me because for 13, nearly 14 years, that was what I lived
Absolutely.
and breathed, and I always had that end goal, and everything I did was working towards making the brand the best that it could be, the
Yeah.
biggest it could be. And so when that changed in March this year, it was a huge change, really huge. And I think because I was aware, it wasn't something that happened overnight for me. I knew that,
Right.
there was situations that were kind of making it a potential, something that might
Absolutely.
have to happen. I'd made my peace with it more than I think, because, in the background whilst I was continuing to do it. And there was a huge sense of relief on the one
Right.
hand, because the weight that I was feeling, and the responsibility, and that alleviated. And so it really, feeling that weight lift off my shoulders and the responsibility of so many different things,
Right.
there was definitely a lightness that I
Right.
felt.
Yeah.
um, and I'm still in it. It's
Yeah.
I'm still going through different processes every few days. I have kind of good days, bad days, where I feel a bit like, what's my sense of purpose? What am I
Right.
doing?
Absolutely.
Because I'm trying to create, a new sense of purpose for myself. And that's been a really, and during the pandemic, where I'm not out and about and I'm
Right.
not able to kind of go about my sort of business as I would, it's made that very different. But it's also made it a little bit easier because I do feel like the world has given me permission to sort of take a breath.
Absolutely.